You know, when you see headlines about a place like Sinaloa, it can feel so distant, almost like a war story from another planet. But have you ever stopped to think about how journalists actually tell that story? How do they take all that chaos and make it something we can actually understand? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to go behind the scenes of a really powerful news report and break it down. The words, the structure, the choices they make, to show us what's really happening in one of the world's most dangerous conflicts.
All right, so every great piece of reporting needs a hook, something that grabs you right away. And this report starts with a real gut punch. In a city under siege. Just let that sink in for a second. Not a city in crisis or having problems. A city under siege. That one phrase immediately tells you this isn't about crime, it's about war. It drops us right into the middle of the danger from the very first line.
Okay, so a city doesn't just find itself under siege for no reason. For the chaos to make any sense, the report has to give us the why, and it does, by immediately pointing to the one single event that lit the fuse, a deadly power vacuum.
And there it is, the catalyst. A major leader is taken out, and it creates this huge void. And you know, both nature and cartels, they hate a vacuum. And I love the word the journalist chose here, sparked. It's perfect, right? It tells you this wasn't a slow build. It was a sudden, violent explosion.
And the fallout from that spark was immediate and, frankly, catastrophic. The report just hits us with this rapid-fire list. Standoffs, torched businesses, blockaded roads. It paints this picture of a society grinding to a complete halt, just totally paralyzed by the violence in real time.
Now, this is where the analysis gets really interesting, because the report makes it clear that to truly get what's happening, you have to understand that it's not just one war, it's two wars happening at the exact same time on the exact same streets. So you've got the war we all kind of know about, right? The Mexican army versus the cartels. But the report argues that there's a second war, a far more ferocious one, happening in the shadows. It's a brutal civil war inside the cartel itself, where guys who used to be on the same side are now literally tearing each other apart to grab control.
And here's a key piece of vocabulary the report uses: factions. This is so important. It tells us the cartel isn't one solid thing anymore. It's shattered. It's broken into these smaller warring groups, and they are all fighting each other.
So to really make us feel the reality on the ground, the report uses this really specific and powerful language. I mean, these aren't just random descriptive words. They're almost like a battlefield vocabulary, chosen specifically to put you right there in the war zone.
Just listen to this quote. Even hospitals aren't safe from cartel reprisals. I mean, that is absolutely chilling. When hospitals become targets, you know that every single rule of normal society is gone. But pay close attention to that last word, reprisals. It was chosen very carefully. Reprisals. See, this one word tells you so much. It means the violence isn't random. It's a calculated cycle of retaliation. Every brutal act is a direct response to something that came before it. It's a never-ending spiral of revenge.
And just look at this other language: Cordon, torched, blockaded. These are the words of a military occupation, not just a crime wave. And that phrase, tit-for-tat killings, it just perfectly captures that endless, brutal cycle we were just talking about. This is what great journalism does. It uses precise language to paint a crystal-clear picture of the chaos.
So, we've seen the violence, the factions, the cycle of revenge. But all of that, really, is just a symptom. The report knows this, so now it peels back another layer to show us the root cause of this whole disease.
After showing us all the devastating effects, the report gets to maybe the most important question of all. What on earth is fueling this brutal, multi-billion-dollar war? What is worth all this death and destruction?
And the answer, according to the report, boils down to this one single word: fentanyl. This one synthetic drug is the economic engine driving this entire conflict. All the bloodshed, all the chaos, it's about controlling this market.
So how much is that market worth? Billions, with a B. When you see a number that big, you start to understand the stakes. This isn't just a fight over turf. It's a fight for a mind-boggling amount of money.
And then, the journalists deliver an absolute masterstroke. They give us a quote straight from a cartel member. And the logic is just so cold and simple. As long as there are consumers, we're going to keep doing this. It's pure, twisted supply and demand. And at the same time, a complete denial of any moral responsibility for the chaos they cause.
But finally, and honestly, this is the most important part of the entire report. It forces us to look past the gunmen and the drugs and the money. It shifts our focus to the people who are paying the real price for all of this.
The focus shifts to the silent victims, the desaparecidos, the disappeared. And this is where the story stops being about a drug war and starts being about a profound, heartbreaking human tragedy.
A quote like this, wow. It's just devastatingly powerful. It takes the story from being about crime statistics and elevates it to this universal truth about a parent's love. It takes the abstract horror of the war and makes it painfully, personally real for every single one of us.
And this is where the report leaves us, with this final, haunting question. It's really a challenge to all of us, a reminder that behind all the analysis and the shocking headlines, the true cost of this war is always, always measured in innocent lives.
喜欢这种学习方式，欢迎订阅我的频道，让我们一起用下一个10分钟，把商业英文变简单。